So, last night I went to this event, you see, to watch the new film based off the game series. It was an interesting experience, to say the least, because I don't often get to go to these things, and that film, not a spoiler, but how do I put this? It was really nicely directed. The acting was good. Surprisingly, Kevin Hart didn't feel like just a weird clone of all his other characters. He felt like Roland. For once, he actually felt like Roland, which was incredibly nice to see, because I was worried. That was my biggest worry for that particular casting. However, the story itself was the safest, most generic Hollywood story I've seen in a while. And I think what made it worse is that I watched Deadpool and Wolverine last week, and then I watched this, and now I have a higher standard because that actually had an engaging story. As much as it was very comic booky, it was more engaging. This kind of lost me at points and had me going, but the game, and you really don't want your movie based on a game to get fans of the game, who would be your target demographic, sitting there going, but in the game, the moment you get anyone doing that, you're sitting there like, oh no. This is why Fallout is like the gold standard.
The mission of the vaults should be important to everyone. To come up to the surface one day and restart civilization. Can you tell me what's happened in the last 200 years?
Because they didn't get me at any point sitting there going, but in the game it works like this. Any time a thing from the game popped up, you're like, that's cool, and then you move on. Not so. Not so with Borderlands. They didn't even quite get the punk vibe right. So it kind of felt a bit more empty than it should have, which I was very disappointed with, because I enjoy that very punk rocker kind of vibe that the characters in the Borderlands have, especially in the first one. Lilith gives off that the strongest, followed by like Brick and Mordecai, who are also kind of their own things. Also, these are the two characters that don't appear in this movie at all. They're not even referenced, but they were like the other two Vault Hunters, and I don't understand why they were just discarded, because they're important to the other games. It's not like they're not in 2 and 3, or the only one they don't appear in, as far as I'm aware, is pre-sequel. Okay, so now I'm going to get into spoilers. If you don't want spoilers for this movie, you can skip ahead to where I just wrap up and give my final thoughts. But from this point, the movie just kind of starts with Lilith being the so-called prophesied child of Pandora. Prophesied child in a fucking Borderlands movie. It's like one of the worst tropes as a prophecy child who will open the vault. As far as I remember in the games. Prophecy? What's fucking prophecy? We want to find a goddamn vault. We want money. We're fucking treasure hunting badasses. And, like, they don't give that. They just give, they want to save the world. And I'm like, why? Why can't we have selfish characters who are just lovable because they're unique? The Borderlands movie would be 10 times better if they just made them closer to the video game counterparts, where they're not idyllic heroes that we've seen in cinema before. What they should have done is give us non-idyllic heroes who just want to make money and like fight. Brick's whole thing is he likes fighting. Same as Krieg, who they use from 2, which is weird because they've also now like combined Tina into 2 characters, because if I remember I might also be misremembering, it's been a little while since I played 2 and since I've looked into the story, but the like mech character in 2 that you could play as and Krieg were said to be like best friends, and those two went together. Tina was just with Roland, but also always doing her own thing and didn't really care. She just wanted to blow things up. The most fan service that we get is Tina stuff, where she's talking about badonkadonks and throwing like bunnies that exploded people. But other than that, it's like, nah, you're missing most of the cool stuff. And it's disappointing, to say the least. I will give it, the action in that movie is insanely fun to watch, and I always got engaged the moment the action started. It was fun to watch. The way they used the guns was cool. But on that note, they were just guns. And they did have Marcus trying to like upsell guns and knowing all the guns. They didn't have the interesting guns from Borderlands, which you would think they would do, because the fun stuff that you to put in a movie would be like having a talking gun. Like if you have a character who's not like Lilith, right, who has powers. Wait till I get to that fucking spoiler. But Roland, you should give him a talking gun that he like uses all the time, and like you can create a banter thing, especially when you have bits where he's alone. He's got his gun that he talks to, and then you have this like kind of odder character thing. I mean, I know it's a little quirky, but it's an idea. That would have been more interesting than what they did seem to end up doing. Then there was Lilith. She's a siren who doesn't know she's a siren until the last act, where she finds a fucking drawing from her kid self that her mom had. Yes, it's one of those movies. The trope is dog shit. It really is dog shit. But it's what they decided to go with because they thought it was a cool idea, and I hate it. With my whole heart, I hate the idea they went with. It is... prophesied, kid. I prophesied. They always go with the prophecy types because, of course, prophecy is always what you want to do. Avoid prophecies if you can in storytelling. It is one of the lamer things that they tend to go with, unfortunately. However, I will give her props that when she actually does use her siren powers, it's very, very cool. It's arguably cooler than they do it in the games, but that's more because you're seeing it from the outside, not like the inside. So the teleporting is really fucking cool. It looks cool. It just has like a weightiness to it that's really cool. And Cate Blanchett was kind of cool as Lilith. I mean, I thought she was slightly too old for the role when I first saw the casting. Having seen her play it, I'm cool with it. It worked. Although I personally would have preferred like someone a bit younger. Not so much for the look. It's more so she doesn't feel so tired. Because Lilith is still my biggest complaint in that movie. Doesn't feel as excited about being Lilith as she does in the game.
What's up?
And then, like, in the movie, when she's a siren, she's like, oh, I'm a siren. Yeah, I can badass. I can teleport now. She gets her wings, and then she becomes, like, super serious the whole time. In the games, from what I remember, she gets the wings and is like, fuck yeah, dude! It's time. It's time. Let's blast! Like, she has fun being Lilith, and I don't know if I feel that. I didn't feel that. Personally, I did not feel that. Still, the one thing that this movie is good for, if you are wanting to get your friend into Borderlands, and they know nothing of the games, they've never played the games, you can't show them the movie, just to get them interested in the characters in the world, because some of the stuff is kind of cool. The skags look cool when they appear for the like 3 scenes they're in, and Claptrap's as annoying as he is in the game, but he's just straight up Claptrap. Jack Black does a pretty good job of being Claptrap. Still a bit confused why they didn't just get his original voice actor, but it is what it is, you know. And that, so all in all, Borderlands, a movie you show it to your friends you want to get to watch the Borderlands movie, to play the Borderlands games. You do not go and watch it if you're a big Borderlands fan. You will probably be disappointed and irritated the entire time. Thank you for coming to my rant on a movie that I was so graciously taken by Nouveau to go and watch. New Metro. My brain is fried. New Metro took me to go watch this movie, and the kid, and Enrico. It was great. You guys should probably go watch it. If you do want to go watch it in New Metro. If you're in South Africa. If you're in America and you're watching this, why are you watching me? I'm a little South African guy who drinks that you won't get there. Johnny.